The Voice on the Baby Monitor, an original story for Midnight Madness. When I moved into this house, I thought the worst thing I'd have to deal with was the drafty windows and creaky floors. It's an old place, built in the late 1940s, and I rented it because it was cheap, quiet, and close to work. For the first few weeks, it was exactly that. Just me, my cat, and the steady hum of silence that comes with living alone. I'd make coffee every morning, open the blinds, and try to convince myself that the quiet was comforting, not lonely. The neighbors mostly kept to themselves. Across the street was a retired couple, and next door was a single dad who worked nights. Sometimes I'd hear faint laughter from a television through the walls, or a dog barking 2 houses down. Nothing unusual, until that night. It was around 2 a.m. when I first heard it. A soft, intermittent crackling sound, like radio static. At first, I thought it was my phone, or maybe the old radiator acting up. But when I sat up, I realized the sound wasn't coming from the floor or the wall. It was coming from the dresser across the room. A tiny red light was blinking there. I got out of bed and squinted through the dark. There was a baby monitor sitting on top of the dresser. I hadn't put it there. It wasn't mine. The air felt colder somehow, like the temperature dropped the moment I noticed it. The next morning, I called my landlord. He said the previous tenants had a baby and probably left some stuff behind. He offered to come by and grab it, but I told him not to bother. I unplugged it and tossed it into a drawer. Problem solved, I thought. Except that night, the static came back. At first it was faint, almost background noise, then louder, sharper, like someone adjusting a dial. I opened the drawer and the red light was blinking again. It wasn't plugged in. I picked it up and turned it over in my hands. Old model, faded plastic, a cracked antenna, the kind that shouldn't even work anymore. I was about to pull out the batteries when a voice came through. A child's voice. "Mommy?" I froze. I don't have kids. The voice came again, clearer this time. "Mommy, can you hear me?" I dropped the monitor onto the bed and backed away. My hands were shaking. I wanted to believe it was interference. Another house's baby monitor on the same frequency. But my nearest neighbor was half a block away, and their kid was in college. The next morning, I threw it in the trash, walked it all the way to the dumpster behind the building. I even watched the garbage truck come by later that day, just to make sure it was gone. That night, I got home late. When I walked into my bedroom, it was sitting on my nightstand. Same blinking light, same faint hum of static. I didn't touch it, didn't even breathe for a few seconds. Then the voice came back, but this time, there was another voice behind it. A whisper, low, male. "She can hear us now." I yanked the batteries out. The static kept going. My cat jumped off the bed and hissed toward the doorway. And then I heard a creak from the hallway floorboards. Someone was walking, slowly. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and aimed it toward the sound. Nothing, just the dark outline of the open door and a sliver of the hall beyond. Then the door started to close. Not all at once, just inch by inch, until the latch clicked. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I went straight to my landlord again. He tried to joke about it, said maybe I'd left the window open and the wind slammed the door. But when I mentioned the baby monitor, he stopped laughing. "You're in the old Harris place, right?" he asked. I nodded. He rubbed his jaw and said quietly, "Yeah, they used to have a little girl. She died here. The family moved out after that. The mom never really recovered." He wouldn't say how the girl died. I told him I was moving out soon and he just nodded. Didn't blame me. That night, I came home to find the baby monitor gone. For a moment, I thought maybe the landlord had come by to take it. Then I noticed the blinking red light, this time coming from inside my closet. I didn't want to go near it, but I couldn't ignore it either. I opened the door slowly. The light flickered on the top shelf. I reached up, grabbed it, and whispered, "What do you want?" For a few seconds, there was only static. Then the child's voice again, trembling this time. "He's here." I froze. "Who's here?" The static deepened, and then breathing. Not from the monitor, from behind me. I turned, and there was someone standing in the doorway. Tall, still, completely in shadow. The shape didn't move, didn't speak. It just waited. And when I blinked, it was gone. The police came later that night. They searched every inch of the house, closets, attic, basement. No signs of forced entry, no footprints. But they did find something else. Another baby monitor. Up in the attic, still on. They turned it off, and as soon as they did, the one in my room, the one I'd been holding, crackled to life again. "Please don't take him away again." One of the officers looked at me pale and said, "There's no one up there." No one. They left soon after. I packed a bag and moved out the next morning. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm in a small apartment now. No attic, no closet doors that creak. I sleep with the lights off again. I thought I'd finally left it all behind. Until last night. I woke up to static, not from a monitor this time, but from my phone speaker. The sound was faint but familiar. Then a small voice whispered, "Mommy, can you hear me?" And just before the line went dead, another voice, deeper, colder, whispered back, "She can now. They say madness begins at midnight, and sometimes it never leaves you."